You're watching Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN, presented by Nike. All set for the second act of play in our theater called USA Lacrosse Headquarters. This time the goalies get the glory as Team Marino faces Team Glenn here in Sparks, Maryland. Cue Montel Jordan, this is how we do it. 56 of the best assembled for Athletes Unlimited into 4 teams. They never stay the same. There's one champ, 4 medalists off the leaderboard that comes up this Sunday. And don't blink, because the scoring system is fun and fast-paced. A very pleasant welcome to you, along with Courtney Martinez-Connor, a 5-time national champion at Maryland. I'm Joe Beninati. Court, for these players, it's their last kick at the can this week. So what should their approach be as we head into week 4?
Joe, first and foremost, you want to make sure that you're having fun on the field. That's when you're going to perform at your best. But every single one of these players know and understand that their captain is in the hunt to potentially have the most leaderboard points and walk away with that gold medal.
Since it's the start of a new work week, we should remind you as to who was in position last Sunday, who qualified as captains for this week.
As usual, Taylor Marino, Sam Apuzzo, back and forth throughout the entire season, but they did not change colors. Taylor Marino squeaked out still with that gold jersey. Abby Bosco, Katie Glynn, all they simply did was swap colors. Again, that race is incredibly close. You see just about 6 points between the two of them.
Here we go, setting the table for tonight. Katie Glynn's been the picture of consistency in goal for 3 seasons of Athletes Unlimited.
Katie Glynn, so fun to watch on the field. You look at her in goal, she has a smaller arc. That means she has more time to react to shots, whether they're coming from a distance or in tight. Her eyes are locked in, and she is most definitely that stalwart in the cage.
Very steady keeper. Libby Rosenzweig's taken an immediate liking to play in this league, and it looks good on her.
Despite the fact that this is Libby Rosenzweig's first season. She's a rookie here in Athletes Unlimited. She is so very consistent. She's smart with the ball in her stick, doesn't take a lot of risks, but is a steady Eddie. Not only is she able to score goals, but she can put up some massive possessions for her team by winning the draw.
Definitely a dependable contributor. Over on the other side, Taylor Marino has a definite chance to repeat as champion, and she appears ready for it.
Taylor Marino, when you look at her in goal, she's just calm, cool, and collected, and that's from her counterpart, Mira Shane, who's back up to her. She is a captain that likes to be relaxed, and she has that same vibe with her team, but don't let that confuse you because she is incredibly active in goal.
Taylor's top gun this week could very well be Marie McCool, who is explosive in week 3.
Number 4, you watched her on the field, and she kind of took over. Her teammates at UNC call that Mary on the field. Whether it's a no-angle shot, powering through 1-2 defenders, she uses her speed, her athleticism, as well as her capability to dodge all the way from the midfield to that critical scoring area.
Marie, a tribal piece on the sidelines, tells us how Marie took a boost last week.
Marie McCool had some special visitors in the stand last week. Her former roommate and a few family friends made the trip up from North Carolina to see her play in person for the first time with Athletes Unlimited. Marie said it was fantastic to see them in the stands, and they might have contributed to some of her success on the field.
It's always great when you have a cheering section pulling for you here in the stands at USA Lacrosse HQ. Marie McCool wearing gold for Team Marino in this game 20 of 24 this season. Team Marino against Team Glenn. And in Athletes Unlimited, we love to bring the viewers into the game. The players are not shy about wearing the microphones. Kylie Ohlmiller is listening in with us tonight. Kylie, what are your thoughts as we head into the final week of the season?
Crazy how fast it goes, Joe. I feel like the last time I was on this mic was the first game of the season, so it's crazy how fast it goes. It's been awesome to watch all the highlights. We get to watch the first game while we're the second game in the locker room, and it's just really, really great to see all these fans out here, too.
Kylie, when you have a captain who is in the lead of the leaderboard, what implications go along with that? How do you guys discuss as a team in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, Taylor's an awesome leader. She just said in our huddle, and she's been saying it all week, just try to play our game, try to get some wins, try to have each other's backs, and not to think too much about the implications of this weekend or championship games or anything like that, just to play hard and do our best.
Kylie, you're looking good in goal. We'll be checking in with you throughout the night.
Thanks, Joe.
Kylie Ohlmiller ready. Marino and Glenn set. Marino in goal. Glenn in purple. The officials, Kim Kramer, Ronnie Anton, Erica Leslie, Liz Brush. It's Lynn Bowers again at the table for us. Joe, Courtney, and Maria with 3 cheers for all the men and women in our technical crew for all their efforts throughout the day. It's been a pleasure to work all summer long with them these last 3 to 4 weeks. And now we wind to a conclusion, crowning a champion at the end of business on Sunday in the closing ceremonies. There'll be an individual champion. There'll be 4 medalists, a defender of the year, a teammate of the year that'll be voted on by the players. Haley Warden driving in for the first offensive touch. 6-on-6 at this end of the field. We play the game 10-on-10. The goals are 80 yards apart. 14 players per roster. You see the 8-meter key. Score from behind it, you'll get 2 points for your squad and 16 for yourself. First touch for Team Glenn. Fortunato maneuvering in against Trenchard. Geyersbach had room, and she just missed. Geyersbach, who has scored in all 9 of her games this season. Late in the shot clock, a takeaway, and there's Caroline Wakefield. Wakefield, who just set a record with 9 ground balls last Sunday, is usually going to be around the fray at the defensive end.
And she always puts herself in the right place at the right time, Caroline Wakefield. As we take a look at the leaderboard on the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see a lot of different colors on there. Blue as well as orange played earlier today, so players in the purple and gold jerseys are going to continuously move up throughout this game.
It was a monstrous game for Sam Apuzzo. Team Apuzzo winning that one by a 10-9 margin. And as a result, Apuzzo climbing over Taylor Marino into the top spot and adding some breathing room now as these teams have 3 to go, and Team Apuzzo and Team Bosco 2 to go in their season when we get back underway Saturday, Sunday this weekend. Looking for the first goal on the night. Temperatures in the mid-70s. When the Apuzzo-Bosco clash began, it was muggy, it was very humid. The sun has burned through. It's turned out to be a very pleasant Thursday night here in the Mid-Atlantic region. We're in Sparks, Maryland, 20 miles north of Baltimore, Charm City. Johansson on the go, working in against Hannah Dorney. Turns the cage and fires wide of Marino, backed up quickly. They'll get it set, swing it back up top. Fortunato's bouncer wide of the goal. Marino slowed it down. They joust for it on the end line. Out of the pack. O'Donnell off the hitch. Worked in there, bumping with McCool. As the officials will like to chat, it's probably a conversation about the shot clock.
Joe, I love when the referees bring it together. They want to make sure they're all on the same page, making that right call. As the ball went out of bounds, since there wasn't a change of possession and it stayed with Team Glenn in purple, essentially there should have been no shot clock reset, which is what they're discussing.
The officials finishing their conference, and with a gesture to the timing table, this should be turning out to be Team Glenn ball in the purple and the fresh 60 on the end line. Right back to work with Geyersbach. Steps and fires, missed it wide there. Backed up on the end line by Rosenzweig, number 54 in the purple. She has tallies in each of her last 5 games. Make it 6! Off the roll dodge, Rosenzweig.
Anything that number 54 does on the field, she does it with a very high IQ, that sense of spacing. She knows where any sliding defenders are coming from. Again, anything she does, it's assuming, unassuming, it's relaxed, but she always manages to give herself a quality shot, a good look at goal, in a space where no defenders can come sliding and crashing in.
Rosenzweig beating Marino there. Rosenzweig, the 4-time All-American at Loyola University nearby to where we are, former Patriot League Rookie of the Year, incredible point scorer in NCAA history. She strikes first, just a little bit after the 3-minute mark of the opening frame. 20 points are on the line for the team that wins the individual quarter in Athletes Unlimited. All 14 players on the roster will benefit. A draw control for Marie McCool. Marie McCool and Dempsey Arsenal right there, top of the heap over 3 seasons of Athletes Unlimited in that discipline. This is Andy Aldave trading the ball off for Hannah Dorney. Dorney, the rookie out of Notre Dame, former 2-time captain of the Irish. Aldave, who spent 4 sparkling years in South Bend. Kennedy off the sweep. Detweiler peeking out, the rookie defender who's made a very nice first impression this summer. Here's Izzy McMahon. McMahon has room. She fires and scores! A BB from Izzy McMahon.
And the very first time that Izzy McMahon touched this ball, she immediately had her eyes on the goal. Defensively, nobody was within a stick length away from her. She was able to get a long run at the goal. As we take one more look, a quick pass from Marie McCool, and she saw the defenders retreating. Whenever you see that, you know you can attack them on that top foot, and then immediate quick change of direction. Izzy McMahon putting Team Marino on the board for the first time tonight.
McMahon, who played with Team Reed the first 2 weeks, with Team Bosco last week, strikes here for Team Marino. And we have the level count at 1 for every assist during this year's Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse season. Aspiration is committed to planting 10 trees. Stay tuned throughout the season, see how many trees will be planted, thanks to Aspiration's support. Haley Warden inside the draw circle. Battling with Aldave. No possession here. Now awarded to Marie McCool and Team Marino. She wanted to get off to a flying start. Marie McCool, she said that being a coach has helped make her a better player. Spending time in Chapel Hill with the Heels, working under Jenny Levy's direction. Ohlmiller drifting in. She sailed that high on Katie Glynn. McCool brings it back off the end line against Johansson. McMahon picked up by O'Donnell. Detweiler coming to double. Izzy spots the open player. Kennedy's bid blocked by Detweiler. Took it right out of the air. O'Donnell will run. Rosenzweig gets pressure, sandwiched there near the 8-meter arc. And the ball comes up for Kennedy, who can go in transition. With the great speed, working in 4-on-3 on the fast break. Kennedy finds McMahon. Keep it hot, Aldave! She scores! Textbook execution on the fast break.
Defense can translate into offense, just like defense ultimately wins championships. Relentless work by the team in gold. Team Marino capitalizing on this cause turnover all the way to the other end of the field as they take the lead in Athletes Unlimited.
In a corner, and every player on the team earns 20 points. Tied quarters roll over, making subsequent quarters more and more valuable.
Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN is sponsored by Nike. and by aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact. Just getting going. See some of the stars there from the earlier game today watching on. Team Apuzzo victorious over Team Bosco. Tonight, Team Marino the early advantage, a 2-1 lead. Getting the jump on Team Glenn. Goals back-to-back from McMahon and Aldave have the team in gold out in front. Courtney back on Monday, the last of the 4 captains drafts this summer, and Amanda Johansson was selected #1 overall.
You know, selected #1 because of her consistent play on both sides of the ball. She is a true two-way midfielder. You look at O. Miller, Mastriani, Kent, Johansson, they've all been selected as #1 throughout the season. But Dempsey Arsenal, she is another player who is consistently up at the top. And if her best friend, Sam Apuzzo, has the opportunity to draft her, she is always #1 on the pick for her.
It's similarly become the same story with Team Marino. You see the 3 players at the bottom who've been in one jersey color all season long. Marino has made sure to have Caroline Wakefield on her roster.
You know, both of them were teammates at UNC, and the fact that they may not be wearing the blue in gold, they have a good match. It's all about playing team defense. Marino knows that Wakefield understands what she's trying to accomplish on that end of the field.
So we settle in for this final week of the regular season. Maria Tribalpiece has more on Caroline.
The thing about Caroline Wakefield is that she just loves to play defense. She told me she loves the grittiness of it. She said what she really looks to do is to direct the defense in front of her while reading offenses, and you see her doing a lot of that here tonight.
Maria, you hear her say it all the time. Good defense is about passion, and number 23 definitely plays with a lot of that. Game after game, this is game 20 of 24. We are headed towards crowning a champion on Sunday late afternoon with you on ESPN+. The top 4 on the leaderboard that day will be medalists. There'll be a Defender of the Year. There'll be a Teammate of the Year award. Members of the Unlimited Club can also get involved on the Defender of the Year voting. The players vote for that as well as those in the Unlimited Club. Warden has it for Team Glenn in the purple. Johansson works in 6-on-6 with the goal scorer for Team Glenn. This is Livy Rosenzweig jogging back behind the cage. Trading it off for Geyersbach, who favors her left. Pitch it up top to Warden off the flip. Geyersbach not afraid to shoot it. She'll fire there, and Marino makes a stop, her first on the game. Give her 5 points for every rejection. McCool leaving Geyersbach in the dust. On her way to the cage. Plays it on for Izzy McMahon. McMahon's already tallied tonight. She drifts another one home, left-handed.
This is a picture-perfect slow break. The ball may not maneuver to X, but it was a concerted effort as you watch Marie McCool. She watched 1 cutter, 2, 3, pass through the middle of that 8. And then Izzy McMahon, so very smart. She saw the back shirt of her defensive player, O'Donnell. As soon as she saw that, she drove right to goal. Again, it's about making sure you have the lane, and Izzy McMahon is benefiting from the movement of her teammates.
2 goals already tonight. She had a 4-goal game back in week 1 on Sunday. It's a 3-1 advantage for Team Marino in the race for those 20 points in the quarter. Folks, you can rep Athletes Unlimited. Be sure to check out all the great gear, including the new Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse player name and number t-shirts. Go to shop.auprosports.com and get yours today. Those 3 tallies for Team Marino in just a bit over a 2-minute spell. O'Donnell gets control on the draw, chased by Dorney. O'Donnell's had a very sound summer. She's contributed no matter which jersey she's been in.
Vocally, not just physically on the field. You constantly hear her and watch her directing those teammates. She's the head coach at Drexel. A lot of responsibility goes with being a head coach, and she understands what it takes to lead by example, but also communicate verbally to all those around her.
She says she could see herself, Katie O'Donnell, as a chef or a librarian. She's way too loud for a librarian. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, as chef, I'm thinking, Chef Ramsay? right?
Yeah, barking. Terrific player. Katie working with Team Glenn in purple this week. Geyer's back on the sneak. Shut down short side by Marino. Taylor knows she's got some catching up to do. Captain Sam Apuzzo, a huge game earlier today. Kennedy on the run, looking for the fast break here. Move it to Ohlmiller, bang! More fast break productivity for Team Marino.
Yet again, coming from the defensive end of the field. A lot of green space in front of Allie Kennedy. She is so fast, and that connection that she has between Kylie Ohlmiller and herself, the two of them on the field, that final game of season 1. Kylie missing last year due to an injury. So great to see her back, but again, connecting with her old college and U.S. teammate.
Kylie converting there on the fast break. Kylie Ohlmiller, if you can hear me, what's been the key? We've seen 2 beautiful fast break goals. Kylie, now that you have your ears in, we've seen 2 beautiful fast break goals. What are the keys to that?
We just like to get up and out fast. You see Allie Kennedy, that's, you ever watched her in college? That was her specialty. I know she can hear me right now, so Allie, you're so fast. Pay attention to the draw, though, but our bread and butter.
Okay, Kylie, I'm going to challenge you here for a sec.
Got it.
Can we convince Joe to do your eye black? All I need is just give me another goal, and then we got to hold him to it.
Okay, deal. You know what's funny, guys? My mom told me about that this morning, and she's been loving it. So, hi, Mom.
Whoa. Hi, Mom. Yeah, definitely hi, Mom. 1 more goal? How about 5 more goals?
Okay, deal. That's a deal.
You tie the record. I'm doing the eye black on Saturday.
Deal, Joe. I'd
Done.
love to see that.
Thank you. We'll be back with you.
I'm holding you to that, and she can do it.
I know she can get 6. She's done 5 twice. Might as well set a personal best for herself if I'm actually going to go down that road. Oh, boy. Johansson, did I really just commit to that?
Yeah.
Okay, very well. 2 minutes to go here. Bad angle bid from Geyer's back. No sale. Marino waiting at the post. Those 20 points that are available per quarter, heavily in favor of Team Marino right now. 4 points to 1 with 1:50 to go in the opening frame. This pass is over Kylie's head. Chased down on the end line by Cookie Carr. Kristen will bring it back now in her 3rd season of Athletes Unlimited. Detweiler will clear. The rookie and the veteran teaming up. You have 20 seconds to get it over the midline. No worries for Team Glenn. As Carr lost it, she fumbled it right back to Hannah Dorney. Dorney gets the plus 14 after the minus 10 for her turnover. She gains 4 points in the sale. Wakefield turns back up and finds the open Kennedy to settle in 6-on-6 late in the quarter. Team Marino's in no hurry now. They know they have this first quarter 20 points pretty much locked up.
Just about 30 seconds left on that shot clock. I expect for them to take that entire time. That would only leave about 20-ish seconds for the team in purple and Katie Glenn's team, but they need to come up with a big stop here.
Ohlmiller parked back behind the goal. McMahon, who's been a vital cog in the offense with 2 already. Shot clock's at 10. That pass is low, bodied down by McCool. Strides into this attack, turns. Tries to beat Warden in tight there. Kennedy hits the crossbar. Long rebound hustled down. And often running the other direction, it's Melissa Hawkins. Hawkins with 13 seconds in the frame. That on the run, it's put away beautifully by Geyer's back.
Not a lot of time on that clock. Nevertheless, Team Glenn is giving Team Marino a taste of their own medicine. We saw speed coming out of the backfield. Melissa Hawkins, she was going hard and fast. Again, Geyer's back, cutting inside. It's all about pushing the tempo, the pace of play. And everyone in purple capitalizing on their speed, athleticism, knowing they're going to get a little break here at the end of this first quarter.
The former alto sax player, Sam Geyer's back. Also worked in the high school marching band back in the day. She has goals in all 10 games this summer. She's made it a 4-2 game now with 10 seconds left inside the draw circle. Rosenzweig comes up with possession. Johansson thinking about 2 here. sends it towards the goal, vacuumed up by Marino. And the opening quarter goes to Team Marino, 4 points to 2, 20 points for everybody in the gold jerseys.
As Team Marino steps out with this first lead of quarter one, earning themselves 20 points, their coach talked about the captain, team strengths. We're just relaxed on the field as long as we stay steady in our effort, and they did throughout that entire first quarter. She felt good for her team producing.
Look very composed in those first 10 minutes, did the squad in gold. So Team Marino doubling up Team Glenn by 2 after 1. Rosenzweig got it off to a nice start. McMahon looks like she's in for a big Thursday night. We'll carry right along with you on ESPN.
Everybody wanna go and talk. At the same time, gotta walk. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again. Whenever we get it, there's no hesitation.
Stir the throw home. Got her! Enough for Hens to be there.
That's right. We are fans too.
Team Marino took the first quarter 4 points to 2. They banked the 20 points for all 14 players on the roster. Folks here at USA Lacrosse headquarters enjoying a Thursday night of professional lacrosse, all presented by Nike. Earlier today, Courtney, it was Team Apuzzo just outlasting Team Bosco. These were the MVPs as selected by the players.
The MVPs and the big-time firepower for the team in orange. Sam Apuzzo's team, the connection that she has with Dempsey Arsenault and the midfield domination of Dempsey Arsenault and Ali Mastriani, it just proved unstoppable as they continued on, the three of them, in the progression of scoring goals. But you have to also give credit to their defense, who gave them so many opportunities.
Kayla Wood did a nice job on Charlotte North throughout, and as a result, Team Apuzzo gets a leg up on the weekend. Kylie Oldmiller is wearing a microphone for us tonight. We can go into the game with her with Air National Guard.
Who let the dogs out? Who? Oh, sorry. Tap, tap, tap in, Carol. My no-lookers. Sometimes it's my kryptonite, though. Good job, Taylor! Let's go, baby. Let's go. Perp to gold, baby.
Kylie's always having fun out there, and we can chime in with her throughout the night. Playing with Team Marino as we start the second quarter. Just now reaching the top of the hour. Sparks, Maryland, USA Lacrosse HQ. Joe and Courtney in the booth. Maria on the sidelines. As we enjoy game 20 of the season, the officials need to get things coordinated.
Joe, are you a movie aficionado?
At times.
All right, do you know who they were just doing in the who let the dogs out? Do you know?
Hangover.
Yes.
Hangover.
Look
Sure.
at you.
How dare you? I mean, please.
You just know every single athlete, every single sport. I figured you have no time for movies.
I do remember that one, and I think there were 3 of them, right?
Yes.
Funny stuff. Back behind the cage, Fortunato. You challenged me on Italian earlier today, too, by the way. I'm waiting. As soon as Fortunato does something, I'll have to share with you. Levy off the turn. Thought about the question mark. Jump shot, didn't take it. Rosenzweig off the split dodge from right to left, then comes back. Gets underneath. On the way down, she scores a fabulous goal for Livy Rosenzweig.
Again, talked about Livy and her just ability to give herself quality shot opportunities. She's not going to take a shot if she doesn't think it's the best one for her team. But we see her wheeling and dealing, slicing and dicing through these defensive players. We see a step to the right, left. She's using Johansson, that little pick. And it's not the first time that she's scored a goal falling. Again, just the fact that she's able to keep the ball in her stick. A lot of protection, in tight, a quick switch. And then placement for Livy Rosenzweig.
Rosenzweig, who will graduate in December from Loyola. She was drafted into Athletes Unlimited in the college draft in 2022. Didn't play last year. And technically, she's in the league now as an injury replacement for Haley Radigan, the high-scoring Northwestern national champion attacker who was injured in week 1 and had to miss the balance of the season. Rosenzweig has definitely made a big name for herself in this her first season as a pro. The first goal of the second quarter, the chase for those 20 points is back on for the team that wins each frame in Athletes Unlimited. Season 3. Kennedy on the move. Going through the 6-on-6 progressions. Team Marino has scored a couple of beautiful fast break goals tonight. Ohlmiller turns the corner. Kylie waits, hesitates, rips it upstairs. Ohlmiller has her second on the night.
I have a little deja vu right here with this matchup. Kristen Carr in purple, Kylie Ohlmiller in gold. That little hesitation, the waiting to see what she's doing with her defense. Is she going to take her top side? Does she feel her defender leaning any particular direction? But since it was just the stick in front of her, smart attackers run through that stick, continue their dodge. Excellent job by Kylie Ohlmiller.
Kylie, beautiful shot there. When you turned the corner, did you see the top corner there?
No, sometimes I close my eyes, Joe. That's the fun in it.
Really? Make it difficult on yourself. Do it blindfolded.
Excellent job, Kylie. Just what, 3 more goals to go till you get to paint them on.
No. That's 4. She's got to get 6.
I feel like you're changing this.
No, I didn't change it. She's got to do a personal best 6. She gets 6. I'm doing the Ohlmiller, Mikey Powell kind of look. Oh, boy. There's too much time left in this game. We listen in to Kylie as she brings it ahead. 6-on-6 with McMahon.
Johnny. You're good. See you, Rez.
Draws a double. Halfway through the shot clock. McCool gets underneath and scores. Marie McCool.
Let's go, Mary. Let's get the flag up. Yeah. Okay, let's go. You guys, great fucking talk in there. Twizzler Queen.
Marie McCool powering through the defense. We see as she was tiptoeing that crease. Excellent job. Continuing on with her efforts from last Sunday, where she was dominant in her performance.
Team Marino off to a very hot shooting first half, 66% on the conversions, and now doubling up Team Glid 6-3, leading the second quarter with a 2-1 advantage. Just 2.5 minutes into the second. We hear from Lynn Bowers.
Purple team would like to challenge the gold.
Team Glen facilitator Amber Hill, a former goalie in her own right. We remember Mama Bear from season 1. The question was whether or not this McCool shot actually completely crossed the goal line. We're going to share a couple of points of view with you.
As Marie McCool in gold is challenging, we're going to watch that ball all the way into the twine as it rolls down. So from the angle that we are watching, it looks like there's...
This will be a better look. Not on the circle. Yep, there's the rippling nylon. It's in. Terrific goal for Marie McCool. It should stand unless there's another crease violation if they're looking elsewhere. The ball was definitely in. Now, was McCool's foot on the line? Is that what Amber Hill is questioning?
I think in the background you could see one of the referees had her hand in the air. They were actually going to look like call a foul. She may have even potentially gotten a free position. But the things that can be challenged, whether it's a goal, a 2-point goal, whether or not it's out of the cross as time expires, a dangerous shot, a false start, the only things you can challenge on here in Athletes Unlimited.
The officials have additional looks to the ones that we've provided, so they continue to deliberate at the table. Marie McCool on a tremendous run. She scored 11 goals in her last 4 games as we listen into Lynn Bowers again.
The ruling on the field stands gold.
Count it for Marie McCool, her first on the night. Goals in 9 of her last 10. Marie, who placed 22nd on the leaderboard last summer, climbing quite a bit, 18 spots on the leaderboard from week 3 to the start of week 4, and in a good mood, as you can tell.
This is some fancy mouth guards.
You like those, huh?
I do. Protect the teeth, the pearly whites.
Team Apuzzo leading by 100 over Team Marino. Sam, that is, over Taylor in the chase for #1 overall. The top 4 receive medals on Sunday. That final game will once again be Team Apuzzo against Team Marino, and likely will settle matters in the race for #1. McMahon, hawked there a long way from the cage by Detweiler, will flip to McCool. Aldave keeps it hot. Ohlmiller works in off the question mark. Glenn shuts it down. Katie Glenn's first stop, give her 5 points for it. Glenn, who's made 10 or more saves 10 times in her career. As soon as she gets locked in, she can heat up quickly in that goal circle. You see the players, all 56 of them on the leaderboard. The colors to the left of their names, the jerseys they're wearing this week. Snapshot on the way from O'Donnell. Easy pickings for Marino, who has a handful of stops in the first half alone again. Wakefield will advance. Caroline is so eager to score, by the way. Every time I see her on the way leaving out of the facility, she's like, I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one. Okay. Anytime.
And she has. She was a midfielder until college, and an injury kept her from being able to run both sides of the ball again.
All 9 of her goals in college came in the 2017 year. Kennedy drifting in on O'Donnell, who stays right there. Ohlmiller is the outlet. Kylie gets inside. On the way down, another rocket, and it's a hat trick.
Excitement from Kylie Ohlmiller and everybody in gold. As they hug this out, let's take one more look. Kennedy to Ohlmiller. Working a little 2-man game, want to mix up that defense. Slides coming from her strong side a little late. Strong side being that left hand Look at these reactions. 7-3 for the team in gold as they are building on top of one another. They found their rhythm.
Kylie, you're taking things over. You're making this your personal highlight reel. Well done.
Thanks, Joe. I have to give credit to honestly every teammate I've had these last 4 weeks. They've been really patient with me as a player, you know, kind of coming back from this injury. So it feels good to be in week 4, be surrounded by some awesome people.
Kylie, in week 4, what do you expect out of everyone on the field, their bodies, the excitement?
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of adrenaline, right? It's championship weekend, and we've gotten through a lot to get to this point. So I think we're all just leaving it out all on the field.
Hey, Kylie, we want to listen in for a while, so keep it clean with us, all right?
We're
listening to you.
Trying my best. Hey, you see the box? You're good as? You got room? You're okay? Hey, Hannah, see it? Hannah? Allie? One more? You're good over here?
Beautiful assist from Owen Miller to Aldave.
Yeah, that's awesome. We love that. Good job, Gold. Let's go.
As Kylie gets this ball, we heard her the entire time about facilitating the play, asking for one more, move that ball. Once it got to X, right where she was ready and waiting, Andy Aldave with the cut inside.
Kylie, I'm seeing goals, I'm seeing assists, so tell me about the playmaking there. What made that play happen?
Yeah, we're moving the ball really well. We were just talking about it, just kind of having outlets for each other. A lot of strong Dodgers here, so they're sending doubles early, seeing some hedges early. So we just got to be ready to go on the backside with those cuts, just like Andy was there.
Kylie, thanks very much. So far, so very good. Kylie O'Miller joining us. 5 minutes to go in the opening half. We'll step away, get you back for the continuation of quarter number 2. Team Marino well out in front with another big second quarter explosion. Kylie O'Miller and Izzy McMahon driving the bus for Team Marino, and they are flattening Team Glenn at this point, 8-3. Still with 5 minutes remaining in the opening half. Marino already taken down the first 20 points for the first quarter. Well on their way, it appears, to taking another 20 for everybody on the roster. Shooting up a storm. Team Marino is 66% from the field so far tonight. Folks, you can join the Unlimited Club. As an Unlimited Club member, you'll be receiving a Lacrosse Gold box. That box includes a Taylor Cummings bobblehead, Taylor, the inaugural champion in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, a hoodie, and much, much more. Limited quantities are available, so go for the gold today at auprosports.com/membership. 4 unanswered for Team Marino, helping the cause, as Sam Apuzzo has overtaken the defending champ off of a strong game earlier today. Here's the way they balance up in the way they earn their points.
You know, still incredibly close. Sam Apuzzo earned MVP points. She had 4 goals in her game. Her team won 3 out of the 4 quarters, as well as having that overall win. Taylor Marino has her team in gold primed here in this second game of the day as they are getting ready to walk away with their second quarter win out of this overall game. So incredibly tight and Taylor has at least 5 saves on the day.
Our Maria Tribal piece was close by the Taylor Marino team huddle.
There was just pure excitement in that huddle, Joe. Emma Trenchard came in and said, guys, we're scoring in so many different ways. Let's keep it up. Taylor Marino then spoke up. She delegated what she wanted her team to do, but again, just positive vibes throughout the entire huddle, and you could see that energy translating on the field. Taylor
Marino, who set a single-game save record in week 2. It was the Sunday game of that week. It was against Team Apuzzo. She made 17 stops. And Taylor is at 5 and counting at the moment. Ramsey and Aldave inside the draw circle. Katie Ramsey came out of there with possession, but then gave it up off the turf to Marie McCool, who anticipates so very well around the circle. Team Marino in gold, Team Glenn in purple. Katie Glenn began the week the 4th highest leaderboard total, and this is the same Katie Glenn who placed 10th a summer ago, was 4th in the inaugural season when Taylor Cummings won it all in what was a 15-game campaign. This is a 12-game season, as it was last year. Miller driving in, looks inside, that clanks around the outside of the cage, and it is Glenn who will pounce on it.
We always see different styles of defense, whether it's pressuring the ball in transition or just dropping into the hole. Team Marino electing just to get in, get settled, matched up, as opposed to applying a ton of pressure throughout that midfield.
Fans who are watching the game tonight, if you like fast break lacrosse, especially in that opening quarter, Team Marino was dazzling, finishing off the 4-on-3s. This is a more static 6-on-6 for Geyersbach. The bouncer is routine for Marino. Half a dozen stops in this opening half as Wakefield looks to clear. Down the sideline, she spots Izzy McMahon. McMahon tells us that her spirit animal is a lioness. She's playing like one tonight. Every time she gets the ball, she looks to be a threat.
Well, I can see that lioness through and through. That passion, the intensity. She always plays with that chip on her shoulder.
A weight room warrior, tremendous athlete. McCool challenged on the outside by Warden. McCool gets the jump and goes short side. It's a 5-point second quarter for Team Marino.
You know, it's important not to get rattled on the field, and Marie McCool was calm under pressure. She picked up that ball after it fell out of her stick and immediately turned towards the goal. That's what a good player does. They forget about what may have just occurred, a slight little bobble, and then progressed with speed. That shot placement in tight. Marie McCool just loving those no angles, carrying over from week 3 to week 4.
Pinpoint precision there for Marie. She has a couple of goals and a helper, a little bit more than 3 minutes with which to work in the opening half. Lights starting to take full effect here at USA Lacrosse headquarters. 9 of the first 19 games in Athletes Unlimited have been separated by 1, decided by 1 point. This one heavily in favor of Team Marino at the outset. Ball down and about to be scooped on the move there by the rookie defender Marge Donovan. Marge threw the shot put in high school. How about you? No?
No.
You're more of a sprinter on the track team.
Yeah, absolutely. But I remember her telling that story that the coach just said, we need someone. And she just has that temperament where it's like, okay, you need me to try what? Do what? Done.
Wakefield, Trenchard, Simpkins, and Donovan defending for Team Marino. Marino's squad has put 5 points unanswered on the board. They've dominated the draw circle to the tune of 6-1. 2:20 left in the half, and back behind the cage we go with Aldave. McCool will swing it for McMahon. Shot clock's at 15. Warden shaping up defensively. Bring it back behind the cage for McCool. Shot clock down to 5. Detweiler hedging out. Miller from 2-point range Sent that one wide of the goal. Shot clock violation. -2 for everybody in gold. And now Amanda Johansson will bring it back. Amanda, who placed 7th on the leaderboard last summer, just outside of the top 4 medalists. O'Donnell jams on the brakes. 1:38 to play, 45 on the shot clock. Haley Warden with it. Pennsylvania native. One of the players who's wore all 4 of the jersey colors this summer in Athletes Unlimited. There are only 6 others who can say that. O'Donnell on the move, sidewinder, she scores. A much needed strike for O'Donnell.
Since Livy Rosenzweig scored the first goal of the second quarter for Team Glenn, we see this long sweeping dodge. Nobody coming to slide and help. Katie O'Donnell taking on Marge Donovan. She got a step on her, her hands were free, and then it's all about placement at that point.
Katie O'Donnell, who told us she grew up around a lacrosse field. Mom, a longtime lax official. I wonder if Katie's had the chance to catch back up with her trusty sidekick, Brewer, her dog. She calls him a perfect angel.
A dog that she just loves to talk about so affectionately. Many of these players bring their dogs with them to Athletes Unlimited. They're like best friends, support animals, and their dogs have play dates, which I absolutely love.
Draw possession there for Team Glenn, much needed. As you could tell at the bottom of the screen, the draws were heavily in favor of Team Marino. Chance for them to chip away piece by piece. The deficit is 5 with less than a minute left in the opening half. Stay with us, folks. We'll share the athletes playing some pickleball. Also clue you into the remainder of the schedules for both Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse and softball. Odyssey Alexander on top of the leaderboard in Rosemont, Illinois. 30 seconds left in the half right now. Rosenzweig drops it to the interior, just out of reach for O'Donnell. Ball down, Warden backing it up. She's pressured by Donovan. Final 20 ticks of the half. Good intercept by McCool on the takeaway, plus 14 on the caused turnover, and now she means business into the fast break. Here comes Team Marino again. Neslonsky moves it for O'Miller. That's her 4th of the half. Okay, so how much eye black am I going to need to bring on Saturday?
Do you see that wonderful triangle? Love it. Marie McCool with the caused turnover. The speed to Cage. She had Kennedy right along with her. But quick little connections. TT to Kylie O'Miller. McCool again, she was the catalyst for this goal, but Kylie O'Miller ultimately the beneficiary, and that's all I care about because you're wearing eye black.
Not yet. She's got to get 2 more. 3, she needs 6.
6 points.
No. 6 goals, Court. 3 perfect fast breaks in this first half. I mean, 3 beautiful examples of how to run a fast break for Team Marino. They are clicking in expert fashion, and remember, these are brand new teams. Every week we do it with a captain's draft, and this squad was assembled on Monday. Misdraw here. They're going to give possession at the final horn to Team Marino. A job very well done through 20 minutes. They have put 10 points up on the board. They roll in the second quarter. A 6-2 advantage. They bank another 20 for everybody on the roster. It has been a rough go for Katie Glenn and her mates. Katie Glenn, one of the stingier netminders in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse history, bested for a 10-point opening half as Team Marino explodes for 4 in the first, 6 more points in the second, and has a healthy lead after 1 half of play. Team Marino trying to help Taylor reel in Sam Apuzzo for the top spot. Marino is the defending champion. We begin our halftime festivities. Maria Tribal piece with Izzy McMahon.
Izzy, 10 goals for your offense in the first half. What are you doing that is helping you execute so well?
I think our offense is absolutely rocking and rolling. We're moving the ball so well. Our movement is nonstop. We're doing our job. We're drawing slides. We're moving it twice, getting it to the opposite side, and we're attacking full throttle. It's been really fun out there.
3 of those goals have come off of fast breaks. How have you been able to make those plays happen so efficiently?
Yeah, I mean, first things first, it definitely starts our defense. Defense is making incredible stops down there, holding them to 4 in one half. We have great speed on the midi line with Marie and Allie pushing the ball. And once they're streaming down the middle of the field, it's so hard to stop, and our attack is just wide open. We're ready to go.
Been fun to watch. Thank you, Izzy.
Yeah, thank you, Maria.
Joe?
Ladies, we appreciate the insight. That's a brilliant first 20 minutes of play for Team Marino. Izzy McMahon and Kylie Ohlmiller at the top of the list. Ohlmiller with 4 in the first half alone, making life miserable on Katie Glynn. We're done with 20. We'll carry you through between quarters 2 and 3 on ESPN.
There's power in my voice.
When I use it.
To speak up for a cause.
To encourage the person next to me.
To help us hear the voiceless.
To represent my people.
To shine a light on the truth.
To show others what is possible.
To change the course of history.
To remind you of the power in yours.
There is power in your voice,
but only when you use it.
The field is empty at the moment. It's halftime on ESPN. We're in the final week of the Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse season. Team Marino and Team Glynn taking a short break. Pickleball is a lot of fun, and it's a way for these lacrosse athletes to decompress from league play.
Hey everyone, Marie McCool here. Today we are playing some pickleball on our off day. We typically do this every week, and I think we're gonna have some really, really exciting matchups today. So really excited for you all to watch. Stand.
Yes! Oh, nice. I got it. Come up. There she is. Wow. Oh, That's a great strategy by Alex Sauce. Even though Mira was getting everything, you just continue to hit it back to that same person. You. Love that. I got. Pickle, good straight pickle out here. We're working.
Lots of hand-eye quickness and competitive banter. Friends, please do stay with us. There's more work to be done at the half. On the other side of the break, it'll be time to spell out the Athletes Unlimited lacrosse and softball schedules. All that after this.
Field at USA Lacrosse headquarters. Dozens of college, high school, and youth teams play on Tierney Field. And your team
2 quarters complete, 2 more to come before it's all said and done here at USA Lacrosse HQ. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse taking this time out to let Team Marino and Team Glenn get their rest. On the Lax front, just 4 games left in Season 3. We'll be keeping you company Saturday and Sunday. Start times for those double dips are 1 and 3:30 p.m. Eastern, all airing on ESPN+, and we remind you that we will crown a champion Sunday in post-game ceremonies. The softball diamond in Rosemont, Illinois, keeping busy just the same. After a great night at the Little League Softball World Series yesterday, this week's schedule you see on screen. There's 1 more week to play afterwards in the summer of 2023 for Athletes Unlimited Softball. Boys and girls, we have 1 more stop left with our halftime train of thought. There are highlights to be shared after these commercial messages. Courtney and I are going to be saddling up soon.
Look, everybody wanna go and talk. At the same time, gotta walk it. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again. Whenever we get it, there's no hesitation.
goes third, the throw home, got her! Enough for Hens to be there.
That's right. We are fans too.
There's power in my voice.
When I use it.
To speak up for a cause.
To encourage the person next to me.
To help us hear the voiceless.
To represent my people.
To shine a light on the truth.
To show others what is possible.
To change the course of history.
To remind you of the power in yours.
There is power in your voice.
But only when you use it.
It's a pretty late sunset here in the Mid-Atlantic region, but ain't she pretty? Another Thursday night of action with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse presented by Nike. And throughout the first half, it has been a showcase of sunshine for Team Marino, a 10-4 advantage after 20 minutes. Joe Beninati and Courtney Martinez-Connor with you. Courtney's a 5-time national champion at Maryland. And Court, these teams were just put together on Monday through a captain's draft. There's probably a practice, maybe a practice and a half. How quickly has Team Marino clicked? What does that tell you about their chemistry?
You know, their chemistry on the field, they feel like it's because they're having fun and they're taking this like any other game. They said, let's not focus that it's the last week of Athletes Unlimited and that a champion is going to be crowned. Let's just take one step at a time.
If Team Glenn is to make any sort of a comeback, they're going to need a lot more from the likes of Livy Rosenzweig.
Livy Rosenzweig, she has stepped onto the field and she is doing everything in her power to help this team. She scored the first goal of the first quarter, the first goal of the second quarter. She's relaxed on the field. She was taking the draws for a bit, and then her teammate, Katie Ramsey, came in.
Taylor Marino continues to play tall between the pipes as she's trying to defend her Athletes Unlimited championship.
You know, not only is she getting some major points with those saves, 5 points, but she is propelling their offense. It's all about pushing the fast break.
The offense has been running in expert fashion.
Downfield, it's all about speed. It's about getting that matchup, beating the player in front of you, making defense have to slide, moving the ball quickly. They found Kylie Ohlmiller several times. Marie McCool, again, striding it out in transition. TT to Kylie Ohlmiller yet again. And that's all that matters to me. Who's scoring and how are they doing it in a sharing the ball fashion?
Kylie's up to 4. The team is up to 10 points. And Team Glenn, Katie, the captain, has not had very much to answer it by way of saves, just 1 in the opening 20.
You know, that can be really deceiving. Obviously, Team Marino, 6 saves for Taylor in goal, but Katie Glenn, 1. A lot coming out of those fast break situations. So they are essentially a player down every time, and it's been a 1v0, and that's hard for any keeper.
And obviously this is important for Katie. She began the week in the number 4 spot. The top 4 on Sunday receive medals in Athletes Unlimited. We'll get you back, continue along with this very pretty Thursday night in Sparks, Maryland. Team Marino has a 10-4 advantage after 2 quarters of play here in Sparks, Maryland. They scored 4 times in the first to take those 20 points, 6 more in the second to take those 20 points. They are in control with the 20 minutes left to go. Courtney, let's have a look at the players who've made the in-game biggest moves. Just those players wearing gold and purple.
Not surprising, there's a lot of gold in there. They've come up with both of those first quarter points. That's a total of 40 for them. And Marie McCool, she is on the board with some caused turnovers, with some assists, some goals. She is doing her job on the field. And Kylie O'Miller, Izzy McMahon close behind.
Maria Tribal piece weighing in before we start the third quarter. Maria, was Katie Glynn shell-shocked?
Really, all she said was that her team needs to stop the fast break. She said, we're getting the draws, we're getting the possessions. We have to stop that fast break, and we also have to put more balls in the back of the net.
Sounds easy, doesn't it? 20 minutes to go. Thanks, Maria. Not that easy, though, against a team with the mettle of Marino's squad. She has assembled another very good one in this week 4 of season 3. By the end of business on Sunday, once the MVP voting is done, we will hand out 4 medals in the post-game ceremony, a Defender of the Year award that's voted by the players, a Teammate of the Year, also voted on by the players. The Unlimited Club gets involved also in weighing in on the Defender of the Year voting. Team Glynn is in purple. Rosenzweig angling to the top. Rosenzweig skipped that one wide, backed up on the end line. It'll stay Team Glynn ball thanks to Nicole Levy. Levy, who had a 6-goal performance earlier this summer, tying the single-game record she now holds along with Charlotte North. North, her squad this week, Team Bosco, fell earlier today. Team Apuzzo, a dynamite performance in a 10-9 win. Apuzzo had 4, Mastriani had 3, and Arsenal had a goal and 3 assists. And you see the leaderboard shaping up, all 56 players in Athletes Unlimited. Kennedy sprints in, rockets through the defense and bounces this one wide. Kennedy on every Thursday has so much jump. She looks like she's shot out of a cannon.
She does, and when you think of what these midfielders do.
Spinderella McMahon scores.
It's so very impressive that they are able to play 3 games running the full length of the field over 4 days. But Izzy McMahon, challenging from a different part of the field. Earlier, her goals came from up top. She decided to invert, show that she can score from the backfield as well. That nice step on the underside, she drove her defender up high. And yeah, nothing Izzy does is slow. It's not a roll, a total spin.
Izzy McMahon with tallies in 4 of her last 5 games. She has the 3 spot plus the assist. The assist gives her 4 points on the leaderboard. Those individual goals are 12 points apiece. It's her 3rd hat trick of this season. Back inside the draw circle with Rosenzweig for Team Glynn. Aldave for Team Marino. The official, Erica Leslie, getting them set. She works with Kim Kramer, Ronnie Anton, and Liz Brush. Lynn Bowers is the table official and has been throughout the summer. Rosenzweig comes away with a draw control. That's 2 points for her. Geyer's back, leaves it to the trailer, Johansson.
And already the team in purple is listening to their captain, Katie Glynn, because that potentially could have been a fast break, but it's be patient with the ball, get some touches, get possession and get a quality look as opposed to just forcing the first opportunity that presents itself.
Geyer's back off the roll. Marino slamming the door shut on Sam. They quarrel for it on the end line. The possession's going to stay with Team Glynn in purple. Right back to work. Bring it this way. O'Donnell sandwiched by defenders. Shot clock's at 50. It's a 60-second shot clock in Athletes Unlimited. Johansson going to the goal and another stuff for Marino. Locked in to start the second half. Marino with 8 rejections, 5 points for each. And she's badgered by Rosenzweig, the former midfielder, showing off her stick handling skills from the cage.
know, impressive what goalkeepers are able to do with their stick. They work on stick work too. It's a little bit easier going for that stick check. They have a huge head on their stick, so a lot to present itself to any riding attacker.
Dorney moseys in, plays catch with McCool. Shot clock to 22. O'Miller off the 4-goal first half. Plays the 2-person game with Aldave. Marking on the outside, it's Marae Durkin. Tough angle, score! O'Miller has her 3rd career 5-goal game.
Kylie O'Miller looking for a 2-man game with Aldave. Nothing came to fruition. She saw that neither defender was making a lot of contact with her. Despite the fact that this is in her non-dominant hand, her hands were free. She saw the target and she delivered.
Hey, good job, defense!
Kylie O'Miller up to 5, showing that you can live on the right side too, huh?
I'm working on it, Joe. I've been working on a lot of things in the last year.
You've had a lot of time off, right?
Yeah, so a lot of time off means a lot of time with the stick in my hand.
Hey, if you get one more, how much time is it going to take painting that thing on me on Saturday?
You could ask Kate DeVere. She took some photos today in the locker room. It took me about 30 seconds. So
30 seconds?
It's up to you.
That'll be fine. We'll do that in between games if you get one more.
Perfect.
Good Lord.
Gotta go.
My resume reel's in trouble. Kylie, we're staying with you. Keep it clean.
Okay. You, Marie. You're good. Head man on, you're good. Good flip, good flip. Here we go, Hodge. Yep. Hey, Jordan, come this side. Yep. Happy forward. Good job. I'm out with you. Let's go, let's go. Hey, switch. Woo, that's to the base.
Stick up high there on Kennedy.
Great job, AK. Good job, 4-2. Here we go. Easy, good movement.
Lynn Bowers with a call. Referee, official.
Is it a
9 for check to the head?
Hey, let's remember the movement here.
So this is a player up now for Team Marino in goal. Kylie, what are you looking at now with 6-on-5? Directing traffic on the outside.
Good job.
McCool.
Good job. You're doing it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go through. Yes, go in. Go in. Go in. Yep. See you, back.
Dorney ripped that one off of Detweiler. Woo. And O'Donnell will take it back the other way. McMahon, though, a sturdy ride, forcing her back. You have 20 seconds to clear the midline. Johansson off the face dodge gets it across with 5 seconds to spare. Kylie, what have you liked about your squad at the defensive end tonight?
Go, Jordan, go! I'm with you. Woo!
Joe, I'm getting tired watching the back and forth.
She needs oxygen. 4.5 left in the third quarter. Team Glenn has the ball, dressed in purple. Chasing those 20-quarter points. Team Marino has the advantage. They're attempting to sweep through the opening 3. Off the inside roll, tough shot, put home. A great goal for Rosenzweig. She has the hat trick.
Livy Rosenzweig. Now, this wasn't the first goal of the third quarter, but it was the first goal for her team in purple. Livy Rosenzweig and her captain, Katie Glynn, doing everything they can to give their team a spark here in Athletes Unlimited.
Livy Rosenzweig making this third quarter interesting. Her goal for Team Glenn, narrowing the deficit to 2-1 in the third. The race for those 20 points that are available for everybody on the roster. 12-5 overall, Team Marino in cruise control here in the second half. Players are wearing microphones. Tonight that includes Amanda Johansson as we go into the game with 7 in the purple.
Hey, every single person just dodged on that last set. That was awesome. Watch, watch. Where's the ball? Watch this pick here. Hey, we're in a wall right here. We're in a wall. We're in a wall. I got off left. Yeah, you go. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? So you know, with Marie, and everybody knows this, she's gonna go out and underneath. So like, just be aware of it. You had her like top side all day. Just know she wants under. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Ow.
Ow, that hurt. That really did hurt. Looked like it would.
That's why Sammy Jo wears the gloves.
Yeah, Amanda giving a lot of instructions and then an ouch. And she got chopped on the hand in this one. 12-5 if you're just tuning in. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez, Connor upstairs. Maria Trivalpiece has the sidelines for us as we shout out thanks once again to all the men and women in our technical crew. So many who've been with us through all 4 of the weeks this summer of 2023 with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse winding to its conclusion. Big day on Sunday, crowning the individual champion, handing out the medals to the top 4 on the overall leaderboard, which continues to be in flux. Earlier today, with Team Apuzzo outlasting Team Bosco 10-9, Sam had a terrific game. Sam Apuzzo did with 4 goals, and winning the quarter points and overall victory points as she did, she leapfrogged Moreno into the top spot. Now Taylor and her mates responding in emphatic fashion as they're crunching Team Glenn by 7.
Now here in this third quarter, it is just a score of 2-1, so it's tight. The team in purple, Team Glenn, may be able to come up with 1 quarter here as they are just looking to slow the bleeding of Team Marino and their ability to get to cage quickly.
Team Marino devastating shooting. That 12 for 19 shooting performance has them on the verge of tying the most goals in a single game this summer. 1 more to do that. That was 13. As Team Glenn looks to slow tempo now and chip away piece by piece. O'Donnell outside the 8-meter key. Little give and go feed inside is over the top of Johansson. Then back behind. Sneak attack. Geyer's back, spins back, and she has it turned away by Marino. Ball down. Donovan comes up with the scoop. Marge Donovan, former All-Ivy at Princeton, finished her career at Maryland. Simpkins moves it back with Kennedy. Kylie Ohlmiller, who has her 3rd career 5-goal performance. There have been 10 of those all time in Athletes Unlimited, and Kylie has 3 of them. 1 off the single game record for most goals, co-held by Charlotte North and Nicole Levy. McMahon, no slouch in her own right. She has 3 in the game. Aldave got crossed up by that pass. Andy, hard work as she gets hit up high off the scoop. Possession for Team Marino. Shot clock's at 6. Ohlmiller bluffs it, sneaks, turns back. Had that one ricochet off a defender and her own teammate and wide of the goal. It'll be Team Glenn ball with 2:20 to go in the third. Mairead Durkin will wander back ahead. Johansson helps out on the clear. In this third quarter, the points are being led by Team Marino, 2-1. 20 points on the line when you win the frame. If it's tied, those 20 would carry over to the fourth. Quiet night for Fortunato. O'Donnell playing catch on the far side. Working in here. Quick flick. Fabulous work again. Rosenzweig has been a one-person wrecking crew.
Livy Rosenzweig, ever the threat on offense. We're seeing something different each and every time. This one, she stays on 2 feet. Livy Rosenzweig with the challenge up high, changing up what she's doing. A nice little Twizzler on the backside. She's always feeling out again where that defense is, who's coming, who's sliding. She knew nobody was on that backside. Very heads-up play for Livy, number 54.
Her personal best 4 goals in a pro game tonight. She holds the Loyola single-year records for assists and points, does Rosenzweig. If you're looking to win a cool piece of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse memorabilia, here's your chance, the opportunity to win an autographed ball from Charlotte North and San Mapuzo. Go to auprosports.com/sweepstakes for rules, regulations, and to register to win today. Third quarter now is deadlocked at 2. The draw circle has been level. It's the only real statistical category in which there's been a relative tie, and you can also credit that to Rosenzweig. She's been very good in her freshman year, quote unquote, inside the draw circle here at Athletes Unlimited. So now Team Marino trying to win the third quarter. It's McMahon on the hop with 1:15 left. Detweiler there, not afraid to supply pressure. McCool next in line. Kennedy takes the flip, angles in and fires. That is stopped by Glenn. Katie's second stop of the evening. She gets 5 points for each. Durkin stretching her legs down the sideline. Marae Durkin picking up Johansson. Time ticking down to 44 in the quarter. Fortunato loops this one back. Rosenzweig got her signals crossed there with O'Donnell. The backup supplied by Nicole Levy. Shot clock turned off, 25 seconds in the quarter. A chance to win the frame for the team that scores next, or else will carry over to the fourth. Geyer's back, shifting gears. O'Donnell off the roll dodge. Didn't get that one through the defense, and it's pounced on by Marino with 9 seconds left. Taylor comes up firing, 5 seconds to go. On the move, McCool, down the wing, Miller just sent it wide, trying to steal the third quarter. Instead, we carry over to the fourth. That'll be worth 40.
Joe, you got a little sweat dripping down your
No,
face after
not at
that
all. I think
one.
it's a foregone conclusion. You kidding me? I'll be shocked if she doesn't get 6.
Just a matter of time.
So, we are heading down the stretch. Amanda Johansson meeting the brick wall named Taylor Marino. It's been a good shooting night for those in gold. In the fourth, it's a 12-6 advantage. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN is sponsored by Nike. and by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact. So, after 3 quarters, this is the way it stands. Palin Marino's squad with a healthy lead. The two teams split the third quarter, so the 2 points to 2 points means the fourth will be worth 40. The overall game total, if you win, it's worth 45. So there are a number of reasons to play well down the stretch for both sides. Team Marino beginning the weekend in the top spot. She's wearing the gold and defending her title. As we look at the overall top 10, Courtney, to this point, down the stretch.
You know, Sama Puzo still holding that top spot, especially with that third quarter. No 20 points went to either team. It's being carried over to the fourth. Still a lot of orange up there as they dominated the first game earlier today. It's all dependent upon what the team in gold can do, and can more Team Glenn in the purple come up with some defensive stops and giving themselves more opportunities with players like Livy Rosenzweig.
It's been great to have you with us the last month. These 4 weeks of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Team Glenn squares off with Team Apuzo 1 p.m. on Saturday. You can see that on ESPN+. Team Marino next in action Saturday, 3:30. They get Team Bosco. Abby's squad fell in a heartbreaker. Lost by 1 to Team Apuzo earlier today. Rosenzweig gets the draw possession. Team Glenn in the purple trying to chip away on a large deficit. Melissa Hawkins will bring it on. Hawkins picked up an assist in week 1. She's one of the 2 hair braiders in the league, right? She braids hair before games, and so does Dempsey Arsenal.
She does. In college, she used to get up an hour and a half before she actually had to, so she could start braiding her teammates' hair. She's one of those players who's just a big giver, whether it's hair braiding, giving hugs to those who need it, gifts.
On the move here, this bouncer, ooh, just squirts through Marino and across that goal line. A rare miscue for 30 in the goal.
The last 3 goals have gone to Team Glenn. The last 2 in the third quarter, the first of this fourth. You see Sam Geyer's back. The stop initially coming from Marino, and then it just bounced off of the back heel of her shoe going into the goal. Those are unfortunate. You got to let them go when you're on the defensive end. On the flip side, you got to build on that off the offensive side. We've scored 3. Let's keep the momentum going.
Geyer's back on the board. Her 14th career multi-goal game. Sam Geyer's back, whose mom, Isabel, came to the United States at age 9. She was born in Argentina. Heavy collision off the draw. McCool stays down.
Comes up smiling.
The call against Durkin. Here's the card.
Yellow card to number 89, purple, for a dangerous cross check.
Mairead Durkin, who played with Team Mastriani in week 1, Marino in week 2, and Apuzo in week 3, gets the gate for this.
The stick check getting Marie up in the neck area. That's where that foul comes in. It's immediate card, safety factor. A player up opportunity. It's all about moving the ball, sharing it, finding that open player, because there is someone on that field.
McMahon played on the perimeter. Izzy up top. They change the formation. Kennedy working to Dorney. Ohlmiller lurking around the goal circle. 30 seconds to shoot. Kennedy picks up Ohlmiller. Through the seam, McMahon, and around the horn still. Waiting for more cutters is McCool. Ohlmiller from the severe angle. Giving a nudge there defensively. Crisp ball movement here. Shot clock's at 10. Peeking on the outside. Dorney with a long-range missile from McMahon. Flagged down by Katie Glenn. She saw it all the way.
Excellent defense from the team in purple. They were shifting and moving all on a string.
Glenn picking up her 3rd save in the process court.
In order to stop a player up situation, everyone has to be on the same page. We could hear a lot of communication, a lot of finger pointing, directing.
Last night game of the season here at USA Lacrosse HQ in Sparks, Maryland. Team Glenn in purple, Fortunato angles in, lets it fly, and Marino sprawls across to make her 10th stop of the contest. In-game wise, you see what Marie McCool has done. We'll shuffle on through. All the players wearing gold and purple in this one.
The lone player in the top 10 wearing purple, Livy Rosenzweig. She's won draw controls, scored goals. Haven't won any quarter points to date for the team in purple, but that's the reason why she is up there. Has a lot of individual statistic points.
Kennedy backpedaling away. We've crossed the 3-minute mark of the 4th quarter. McCool covered up by O'Donnell. Marie off the split dodge from left to right. Slicing between defenders, lost it out of her cross. And this will come up for Hawkins for Team Glenn. Johansson will settle down to clear. Detweiler doing the honors. Katie, we were talking about the dogs earlier. She has a dachshund named Pickles. I see what she did there.
And she has a new job to boot.
Yes, you were telling me earlier.
St. Joe's assistant coach, not far off in Philadelphia.
Congratulations to Katie. O'Donnell playing with Johansson as McCool spies on her. Geyer's back off of the 2-goal performance. It's a 5-point deficit. Geyer's back to the cage, fires, and it's turned away by Marino. Geyer's back, thought that one hit the back of the cage. Simpkins revving it up for Team Marino in goal the other direction with 5.5 to go in regulation.
You know, it can be hard to see that ball with your helmet on. She made the stop, and then no surprise, Wakefield coming up with the ground ball out of the crease and starting that ball, the possession towards that offensive end of the field. She's honed in on those ground balls.
No doubt. Only had 9 of them last weekend in one game to set a record. Naslonsky, the assistant coach at Rutgers, where she set records offensively. McCool breezing around off the sweep, marked by Durkin again. Aldave hovering up top, looking to Oldmiller, deflected and stolen by Cookie Carr. Bracing herself for this run upfield and settling into a 6-on-6. There's a whistle.
There's going to be too many players on the field defensively for Team Marino, so Izzy McMahon is
on goal number 2,
heading out into the box.
Seconds.
Lynn Bowers making that call, our table official. Player up here for Team Glenn in the purple. In the 4th quarter, just the Geyer's back goal. Remember, this is a quarter that's worth 40. The 3rd carried over. O'Donnell sets up shop. Levy works the top. Fortunato behind the cage. They'll circle it up again. Rosenzweig hounded by Wakefield. The player up comes to its end. We're back to 6-on-6. Johansson skipping it on through. That was a tough catch. Shot clock's at 20. Game clock less than 4 to go. Levy, who had 7 twos her first season in Athletes Unlimited back in 2021. Oh, Simpkins put the heat on Geyer's back. Ball down, they fence for it, and McCool comes out of there with sprinter speed. Marie McCool off and running. Slows her tempo as she checks the scoreboard and sees just 3:20 left. Timeout taken by Team Marino facilitator Christy Foote. A chance for us to catch our breath just the same. We will go down the final 320 with you in just a few moments. Bree Gross and her mates, they have this one in control. .40 points on the line in the fourth quarter. Team Glenn, dressed in purple, has the advantage thanks to a Geyersbach goal. Overall, though, Team Marino, defending champion Taylor in the cage, a 12-7 leader late in the fourth. Folks, for every assist during this year's Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse season, Aspiration has been committed to planting 10 trees. So coming into the weekend, 115 assists. That means 1,150 with the assists have all been acquired, and you see plays like this, there's going to be many more trees planted.
First and second quarter was all about sharing the ball for Team Marino. They made it look easy. And again, every single assist culminating in another tree being planted.
Our thanks to Aspiration and all of our generous sponsors this season with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN, presented by Nike tonight. Before we resume the fourth, let's visit with the Maria Tribal piece. She was listening in on the Team Marino huddle.
Taylor Marino told me that, or Taylor Marino said in the huddle, you know, I called this timeout so that we can catch our breath, get composure, and get ready for these last few minutes of this game. She said we need to win this quarter, win the game so that we can win all of the points.
That's the plan, and it would bolster her chances to repeat as Athletes Unlimited champion. She edged Sam Apuzzo by just 16 points last year. It was a down-to-the-wire cliffhanger. It could very well be just the same on Sunday when those two players and their teams meet again. But for the moment, Marino better than 61%, out-dueling Katie Glynn at the opposite end. Katie began the night and the weekend fourth on the overall leaderboard. The top four, Courtney, will receive medals on Sunday afternoon.
It's a lot of fun, those final games on Sunday. As all the players have talked about, they can't believe that the final week is here. They feel like it just began, having their first practices as they discussed. It's just a lot of emotions that they're feeling, but they all want to end on the positive note, having those 3 wins if possible to help their captains and propel them forward.
11 stops for Marino. 17 times in 22 career games, Taylor's got 10 or more saves. Just remarkable consistency. At the offensive end, Team Marino works with McCool. Up top, Ohlmiller thinking about 2. Kylie has 5 goals on the night, tying her individual game best. Dorney takes a flip. Weaves in against Warden. Ohlmiller challenging with a front swing on the rocker step. Rolls back to her right, fires, she's got it! A 6th goal on the night for Ohlmiller. She's tied the single game record she shares now with North and Levy.
A lot of patience on the field for Kylie Ohlmiller as she is bobbing and weaving back and forth. Little rocker step. She is waiting for a defensive player to trip up, and ultimately that's what gave her the edge. Tough defense by Kristen Carr Again, it was raining earlier. We talked about the slippage possibilities on the field. Kylie Ohlmiller turning as soon as that defensive player took a slide, and she has now stepped in with 6 goals, 1 assist, 7 points on the night.
Kylie, nice work there. It looked like Cookie had you defended well, and then she slipped. Why'd you choose that move?
She's playing me really well to my left hand. Cookie's an all-world defender, so I got to switch some things up, and kudos to her for making me work. I got to dodge for like 45 seconds on her, so got to do something different.
Kylie, we're in the 4th quarter. What do you think the turn of events was for you guys to be stepping and having this 6-goal lead?
Yeah, I think we talked about it at halftime and in between all our timeouts and everything that, you know, this is another all-pro team, right? So we just have to make sure we keep our foot on the gas pedal and keep going.
Kylie, thanks very much for your thoughts. We'll have to see each other on Saturday afternoon.
I'm really
I have a
looking
feeling there's
forward
going to be
to it,
some
Joe.
artwork. Now, you realize I do have to speak for a couple hours, so let's keep that in mind.
It looks good on camera, just
It'll
saying.
look great on camera.
Yep.
Just make sure I can keep my mouth and my, my gums flapping. That'd be a good
Gotcha.
thing. You've done all right with it tonight.
Thanks.
Wakefield gets control of the draw possession. For those unaware, Courtney Martinez-Connor guilted me into a bet that if Kylie set a personal best tonight, 6 goals, I would have to do the Ohlmiller-Powell eye black there. So it's going to be a colorful Saturday afternoon. Team Marino plays in the 3:30 game against Team Bosco on Saturday.
We have fun. Come on, you traded in your Armani suits
Oh, my
for that
goodness.
rain gear one time.
Yeah. We have fun. You're going to have fun laughing at me at my expense. We have fun. We, who's the we in that combination? We. You and the crew, basically.
Yeah, we're there with you in spirit.
Mm-hmm. Ohlmiller now 1 away from setting a Athletes Unlimited record if she gets 1 more. Second 6-goal game of the summer. Nicole Levy had the other. Hard work on the end line, and another collision sends Cookie Carr down to the field.
Always quick to get up. She is one of the toughest people that I know, always working hard in the off-season, whether it's through injuries, but just tenacious on the field.
4th quarter points on the line. Remember, this is a carryover, so this is 40 points that are available. And in the 4th quarter, the score is 1-1 by my count. Ohlmiller for Marino. Geyer's back for Glenn. Johansson running downhill on McCool. Here comes the help from Simpkins. Amanda turns. Team Glenn gets Team Apuzzo at 1 p.m. on Saturday. Both of those games available on ESPN+. Up top, here's Levy. Pitch it back behind the goal. Rosenzweig, who's been outstanding. Her 4 goals. Dwarfed, though, by Ohlmiller's 6. Johansson towards the cage at the end of the shot clock. That's routine for Marino. This game is in the books now. The question is, can Team Marino steal the 4th? They'll get it should they win the game, right? So it is secured.
It is.
As Kennedy goes to the goal, 8 seconds left. Team Marino victorious. The carryovers from the 3rd and 4th will also go their way. So in one fell swoop, you can add 85 to everybody in gold on the leaderboard as this one's done, 13-7.
Big kudos for the team in gold. As Mira Shane, backup keeper to Taylor Marino, said their biggest strength is their camaraderie and connection on the field. Such a relaxed atmosphere, and it really helped propel them to a big win over a tough Team Glenn. A 13-7 score. 3rd and 4th quarter points going to Team Marino. The overall win, they have swept Team Glenn, and that's a lot of points.
13 points on the board, equaling the most in a single game by any team this summer, as we are in week 4 of Season 3. Katie Glenn's squad dispatched by Team Marino. Taylor, the defending champion. Another strong game between the pipes, but it was the offense that showed itself tremendously well. Marino into double figures with more saves tonight.
It's just a lot of fun to watch. Number 30 in gold, Taylor Marino, some in-tight saves, showing her quickness in the goal. She can stuff just about anyone.
Maria Tribalpiece standing by with a victorious netminder who we watch make save after save with Athletes Unlimited. Maria, it's yours.
Taylor, your team was firing on all cylinders tonight. How were you able to create such chemistry so quickly?
I think going into this week, our mantra was kind of just having fun, really just trying to work through everything together, and just making sure we keep our spacing, because that's where, you know, we see a lot of openings and have a lot of opportunities, and then defensively just continuing to communicate. I was lucky enough to get the same core defensive unit I had last week, so we've kind of had a solid 2 weeks to kind of work up that chemistry. So super fortunate to have both ends firing tonight.
You're vying for that top spot on the leaderboard. How much do you think about that heading into this last week of games?
Yeah, I know going into it, obviously thinking about it's probably not going to be the best thing for me. So I'm just kind of go out here, win some quarters, win some games. At the end of the day, too, I definitely want to get points in these guys' pocket, too, to help them get themselves higher on the leaderboard. And then just kind of take care of my job and do what I do best. So definitely hoping and seeing that paid off today. So hopefully we can continue that for the rest of the weekend.
You called that timeout to calm your team down. Why is that so important?
Yeah, I definitely could tell that our middies were working really hard on both ends. They were tired. I unfortunately think I took away a little bit of a potential goal opportunity from TT. So I threw a little apology during that timeout, but it was just mainly kind of get our composure, kind of re-solidify our spacing, and then give them the best opportunity to score.
I'm sure TT will forgive you. Taylor, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Joe.
Taylor Marino, the masked bandit, kind of her to join us and chat with Maria post-game as you see the MVP voting being conducted on the field for both teams. We're about to show you the up-to-the-minute leaderboard minus the MVP voting, minus the potential appeals process. Marino and Apuzzo just that close again, Court. Here we go.
Not surprised by this at all. Those two are the true leaders of their teams. Apuzzo in orange, Marino in gold. And they are just capitalizing on helping propel their team to the best possible opportunity for that matchup. That's Sunday night, our favorite.
We're heading for a collision course. The races are good, both at the top and for the remaining medalists. It's going to be a whale of a final week in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Once again, your final score, Team Marino 13-7 victorious. Tune in Saturday, 1 Eastern on ESPN+. We have more Athletes Unlimited. For Courtney, for Maria, for all the men and women in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks so much for your time. Rosenzweig was good. Ole Miller was better. 6 goals on the board.